Yes, we're back. We're here with Ferrets. Hello, Ferrets. How you been?
I ate too much and now I feel sick.
Oh, yeah. So, guys, as for the show last week, it wasn't uploaded mainly because I tried to encode it and it fucking shit the bed. I have managed to recover it. I will be uploading it after this, so you will get the last week's show and this week's this week. I did manage to finally recover it, and yeah, it was not good. Hang on, let me just. Oh my god, cat, seriously? Make like a fucking tree and leave. Thank you. Because obviously, yes, so you will get the 2 episodes this week. But let's jump into it. I suggest you watch last week's because we did talk about Assassin's Creed Shadows. And we are sort of going to follow up on that this week. So there'll be about an hour's difference. I'll put one up at like my 10 o'clock, one up at 11 o'clock. Alright, ferrets. Apart from that, besides eating, how you been? Good.
Yeah, work is still lovely as always.
Oh, I hear you've been playing a little bit of No Man's Sky.
Well, yes, but I mean, there's the name that actually says I have found 0 men in these skies.
Yeah.
So,
You might find a few NPCs flying around and stuff like that. But yeah, it generally is. It's pretty. You can join with other players and stuff, and you can do that.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, it is very much sort of like a solo sort of thing. Occasionally meeting people here and there. I think it's just the fact that there's so many spaces that at the end of the day, it's just yeah. I think it's only peer to peer, so it's about 8 players mainly, 4 to 8 players per server. But yeah, it does. It's not obviously optimized well for multiplayer. It's not going to be like Star Citizen where you have like hundreds of players in the same server. But let's.
Well, that's unfortunate.
It is. It is. But at the end of the day, it is still fun to play. And even if you do only get a couple of the people in, like once I was playing it with Bruno and Crayon. Stuff like that can be fun, but then it also can be a little bit problematic because someone will be holding the save and then you'll try to join and then all of a sudden the stuff won't be there anymore because it'll be on their save and anyway. Let's jump into it. No Man's Sky Worlds Part 1, responsible for nearly 500% increase in PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4 players. So No Man's Sky's big World 1 refresh dropped just last week for free for all players, and that in time an astronomical number of PlayStation 5 players could return to check out the difference. Not bad for almost a decade-old game. As observed by the gamer, the update caused not only a spike in players on Steam, which enjoyed its highest numbers in almost a year, in a years, but 50k in 24 hours, but PlayStation 5 pundits returned in droves too. While hard PlayStation player numbers famously more difficult to pin down, trends and percentages can be noted. Trophy tracking outlet True Trophies did exactly that. In the past week, over 400% more players on PlayStation 5 booted up the game, and if you include PlayStation 4, those numbers rise to 493%. The figures are pulled from the data sample of over 3.1 million active PlayStation accounts enabled by the outlet's partnership with the firm Games Insight. No Man's Sky saw more players on PlayStation than last week than Diablo, Final Fantasy or Hurrah Star Rail or Mortal Kombat 1 for comparison. These wonderful figures can even come to attention of the director and face of the development Hello's Games, Sean Murray, who seemed pretty chuffed. So then obviously we got his post. So yeah. Apart from that, you obviously you didn't play a lot of No Man's Sky before this update, you were saying?
Actually, it's like my first time playing.
Yeah. So you don't have a lot to compare it to, but apart from the fact that there are no man in No Man's Sky, what else are your thoughts?
I mean, so far it's a pretty fun actually. managed to get myself a pet in the game.
Right.
It's a it's a mix of a giant 6 plate kid cat with bull like horns, and he's the size of a truck.
Right. Gotcha. I didn't know you could get pets, but that's cool.
Yeah.
That must be part of the new Worlds update. But yeah, obviously you got like base building. You know, you can upgrade your ships, you repair your ships, blah 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 blah.
Oh yeah.
But let me ask you, when Star Citizen Squadron 42 comes out, what do you think is going to be more important or more popular, Star Citizen, or do you think No Man's Sky?
Mm,
What are you? I should say, what are you more looking forward to playing? I should probably say. For me, it's clearly Star Citizen, but yeah, what's your thoughts?
well, it seems like uh, I want to say probably No Man's Sky for a little bit
Mm-hmm.
because uh, uh, they have already been established for a long for a long time
Yeah,
already. I mean,
because they're both about 10 years old. They're both obviously, you know, space games and Planet Explorer and blah blah blah, right? So the only difference really is the social aspect. With Star Citizen has a lot more players on it per server. But at the end of the day, if I had to, if I say I did a kidnapping plot, right, and you know no FBI involved, and I went through and locked you in a room and told you could only play one game for the next year, right? Star Citizen as it is now, or No Man's Sky? What would you pick, and why?
probably No Man's Sky
Mm-hmm.
because Star Citizen, that as it is right now, it's not as
Yeah, No Man's Sky is
stable.
less buggy, right? I probably would pick No Man's Sky too, to be honest. But yeah, it's look, it's obviously an interesting experiment, right? Because at the end of the day, they're both around the same years old. You know, they're both space games. They both have open world and exploring planets and stuff like that. Look, I will say that No Man's Sky is probably a further along than Star Citizen. You've got base building and apparently pets now. But I was going to say, but at the end of the day, it does make you sort of wonder: is you know, like Star Citizen when it comes out eventually, which we're suspecting we're going to get an announcement of Squadron 42 later in this year. Citizen Con. Is it going to steal some of the thunder from No Man's Sky? Which it probably would for the first couple of months. But yeah,
Well, maybe because
it's the new shiny
a
thing.
lot of huh?
I think mainly because it's the new shiny thing. But what were you going to say?
Well, a lot of the members in the No Man's Sky community are thinking that like Hello Games is going to be dropping a release a date for their next upcoming for their next upcoming video game, and they believe that they're going to be dropping the announcement during Gamescom, like August 12th, I think. I think that's when Gamescom starts.
Gamescom 2024, yeah, 21st to the 25th of August.
Yeah.
And it's in Sweden, I think. It's at the Kumis. Germany. It's in Germany, which makes sense. What's the release date for No Man's Sky expansions? No Man's Sky release log. Here we go. So Worlds Part 1 and Part 2. Obviously, if it's Part 1, they're expecting Part 2 soon. So Worlds update. And then we had the expansion 13, which was Adrift. That was May 29th, 2024. And then after that we had Orbital update. I don't know when that was though. And then we had the Amiga update. No Man's Sky, put friggin' dates on your things, will you? 15th of Feb. I want to say probably 2023, probably. And the Adrift. I'm not sure. But yeah, it seems like they're pretty constant. It looks like they're about every, say, 6 months.
Right, but I mean, this isn't going to be a announcement for No Man's Sky though. So it's going to be a announcement for their upcoming game.
Yeah, right. So 2023 they put out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 patches. 2024 they've put out 1, 2, 3, 4 patches already. So what's their new game? What's that they're working on? You're talking about that.
The game's called Light No Fire.
Light No Fire. So it's a open world. Massive Earth-sized fantasy planet. Discover. Possibly Q1 of 2025. Which is roughly when we're sort of expecting Star Citizen. There is an announcement trailer. Let's have a look at this.
Imagination grew on me as quickly as it takes your hand to warm the cold side of the pillow. I'm there for you, you're there for me. I'm the song the soldiers sing as they march outside our window under of the pine.
It looks good. I don't know if it's really going to steal from Star Citizen though, because like
I mean,
it's
I don't
different
think
genre.
it will.
No, different genre. Someone in the comments, this is going to flop No Man's Sky or incredibly good No Man's Sky. But at the end of the day, like we are expecting Star Citizen to obviously come out around, I'd say around March, April, I would say. But you know, obviously we'll have to see what happens. But yeah. Apart from that, anything else we want to touch on before any issues you have with No Man's Sky, or we want to jump on to the next topic?
No, I think that's it.
Alright. Let's jump into Assassin's Creed because it's like the puppy dog that just won't stop whimpering. Japanese players exonerate Ubisoft after they apologise for... Sorry, is that exonerate? What's that word there?
Exonerate.
It is exonerate?
Yeah.
Doesn't look right. Hang on.
Excoriate.
No, excoriate. To censor
I can't read, I'm sorry.
That's right. To censor strongly, denounce, to criticise, to tear apart. After they apologised for for creating concern within the Japanese community with Assassin's Creed Shadow. Japanese gamers are not happy with Ubisoft and its recent statement apologising for creating concern with the Japanese community with Assassin's Creed. Ubisoft, through the official Assassin's Creed account on X, stated to our esteemed Japanese community, we're a message from Assassin's Creed Shadow development team. First, we want to express our heartfelt thanks for your support of the Assassin's Creed series, which now has its own history spanning almost 20 years. Over this time, we have explored various settings, time periods, and characters from Assassin's Creed. Blah, 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 blah. The company then discussed its overall authenticity efforts. We have put significant efforts into ensuring an immersive and respectful representation of feudal Japan by putting in Chinese writing and Japanese, stealing Japanese clan posters and banners and making a samurai guy a black guy. Is that how they've been putting in effort to ensure immersive and respectful culture? I'm a little confused there. However, our intention has never been to represent our Assassin's Creed game, including Assassin's Creed Shadow, as a factual representation. Oh, wow! Talk about a backhand. Instead, we aim to spark courage, curiosity, and encourage players to explore and learn more about the historical setting we get inspired by. Hey, Japan, sorry, but at the end of the day, we're sorry you got butthurt over us rewriting your history. But, by the way, we never thought it was going to be factual, so nah, is literally what I'm taking away from that paragraph. Are you getting this, or is it just me that's reading this?
I'm reading it too.
Is it just me? Is it just not seem like it's a bit of a backhanded sort of like a, well, we told you it wasn't factual? God, they're so arrogant. So, obviously, at the end of the day, this is not going to go well. No wonder Japan has lost it. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, here's the thing, right? This is the problem. If you start bringing DEI and this sort of shit into your game, guess what? You can't make a factual game. Because it literally goes against DEI. Right? If you want 20% of your player base to be black characters, if you want your main character to be black, and then you're going to base it on Japan or the Vikings or whatever, guess what? It's not going to work because it's not going to be factual. As much as people might be able to find the token black guy, let's face it, Vikings weren't overly black. Samurais weren't normally overly black. Yeah, they were Japanese. That's probably why they were samurais. Anyway. Yeah. I can see how this has not gone well. Yeah. And I must admit, I do like the fact that they're apologizing to the Japanese community. But if it hadn't been a minority, they wouldn't be apologizing to them in the first place. Like, if they had done something like this to sort of like a white culture background, they wouldn't apologize. They're only apologizing because they're a minority and they're upset because they're offending a minority. And apparently the apologise isn't working anyway because they're backhanding them with this whole, we're sorry we offended you and your culture. By the way, we weren't going to make a game factual, so nah. Yeah, but anyway. Any plans to buy Shadow? Some ferrets?
Well...
Do you want to play as a black samurai?
If I wanted to play as a samurai character, I would have gone and played the For Honor.
Well, that's true too. There are plenty of games where they actually do an actual decent job of playing a samurai. There was a game that came out several years ago that was very, very, very acclaimed by the players. I'm blanking on the name of it now. Because it did such an amazing job as actually portraying actual history and the way it actually was. But obviously at the end of the day, Assassin's Creed subreddit threatens to ban players for disputing Ubisoft's original claim that Yakuza is a powerful African samurai of historical legend. So now, if you're on their subreddit and you disagree with the fact that he was a powerful African samurai in Japan, you now get banned from the subreddit. Ferrets, let me ask you this. How long have we known each other? Roughly.
I lost count. Actually, I want to say maybe
10 years? No,
Oh.
5?
Like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. In that whole 5 or 6 years, have you seen me ban anybody from my Discord because they disagreed with me?
Not that I remember.
How many times have you disagreed with me?
Too many times that I can't remember.
we joke about it, saying it's like a weekly thing that we do, right? Have I ever banned you from the Discord because you disagreed with me?
No. There's been a few times where I've left, but
It's right.
I've actually been banned, though.
We jokingly call him Rage Quit Ferret sometimes. But that's the thing, right? Is that people can go through and disagree with something and not get banned. I know it's an amazing sort of idea. Maybe Reddit should adopt it, is my point. Just because the fact that you disagree with someone doesn't mean you need to ban them. But at the end of the day, let's face it, this is about protecting Ubisoft. The reason why the subreddit is doing this is because they're going through and they're trying to protect their brand. They're trying to protect the Ubisoft brand. And at the end of the day, getting a whole bunch of people saying, hey, this Yaxi, whatever his name is, was not actually a samurai, you're lying about history, makes him look bad. That's all it is. So, guys, I get you love the game, but why are you on their subreddit if this is how they treat you? Come fucking join our Discord. You can disagree with me as much as you want. Hell, Ferrets does it and he's a fucking admin. But anyway, what I'm saying is go to places where they're not going to ban you just because you disagree with them. You know, go to places where you're actually allowed to have conversation. But anyway, apart from the whole subreddit threatening to ban people and Ubisoft backhanding apologizing to everybody, is there anything else on the shadows that we need to cover, Ferrets, or is this moving on?
Not that I know. No.
No, right. Alright, Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. Lesbian Mrs. Freeze. Season 2 update bombs with players. Game has lost nearly 95% of its player base. I heard about this coming out. I did not play it. Did you play Suicide Squad by any chance, Ferrets?
No.
Does this make you want to play Suicide Squad? Having a lesbian Mrs. Freeze that's running around with the LGBT flag and, you know, all this sort of stuff. Does this make you want to go out and buy the game?
It makes me want to go out and actually buy it like 3 times, actually.
It makes you want to go out and buy it 3 times.
Yeah. I want to show people that I want to support the community.
So Rocksteady Season 2 update for Suicide Squad called Justice League has introduced a lesbian Mrs. Freeze that is completely bombed with players, with less than 600 people were playing concurrently when they launched on the 25th of July. Rocksteady revealed that the Season 2 update would feature lesbian Mrs. Freeze named Victoria Fries. I might be mispronouncing. In a blog post providing details about the Season 2 update, Rocksteady stated, Victorian Fries is an ice-cold, self-sufficient survivalist who has watched her essential world turn into ice. Can we talk about the fact that they've made the villain a lesbian character? Female lesbian character, who is, by the way, according to them, a self-serving self-sufficient survivalist. Like, what are you saying about women here, Rocksteady?
My question is, in their universe, what happened to Mr. Freeze?
I think he got divorced, lost the house and the children, and then was probably Me Too'd.
Oh, man, I feel sorry for him too.
Yeah.
Man, he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Or at least he was.
So, her world was turned to ice as Brainiac's invasion took hold. So, it's not her fault she's the way she is. It's Brainiac, who just happens to be a guy, right? By the time we meet her in Season 2, she's spent years as the last holder of a dying planet, unwilling to leave her cryogenically frozen wife behind. But after being recruited by the Suicide Squad, she has to change to save her. She may have the chance to save her. And I'm... Oh, fucking God. This is so pathetic. I am
it gets
so...
worse the more that you read it.
Yeah, it really does. So, apparently it's a lesbian female Mr. Freeze, now Mrs. Freeze, who won't leave her wife behind, but joins the Suicide Squad so she may have a chance to save her. But it's not their fault that the way they are, because Brainiac froze the world. Right, gotcha.
What? So, why does this feel like this was made by a freaking AI?
It does seem like it, doesn't it? Like, I don't know. Is it AI or just people with bad writing skills?
Or both.
Could be. Like you know, obviously not going into spoilers, you know the machinima that we're working on, right?
Yeah.
If we'll do the lock you in a room thing. If I locked you in a room and said to you, you had to watch this on as video or my machinima, what would you pick? He's going to say Mrs. Freeze just to piss me off.
Is bashing my head against the wall an option?
Fuck you. But that's what I'm saying is, like, some guy that doesn't have any sort of, like, writing talent, writing history. Like, what would you rather? What episode would you rather watch? The first episode of our machinima that we're filming, or this? Honestly, you can say this if you really, really want.
Well, honestly, I would actually pick the machinima because it has some more of a plot than what we have here, because this is the third issue of a copy and paste right here.
Yeah. But also, at the end of the day, is that we don't have any of this work shit in the fucking machinima.
Yeah.
You know, like, we're not beating people over the head with politics. There was going to be one season where we sort of dealt with, like, someone trying to steal an election. But we canned it because it was too political. We deliberately stayed away, even though it would have worked with the law, because there's like a bunch of like this gang that was set up to take the fall for things in history and stuff. Even though it would have worked with the law, we stayed away with it because it was too political. Anyway. So, yeah. Do you feel like going out and buying Suicide Squad and getting the DLC with the pride flag and the, female Mrs. Freeze? But, like...
You mean if I give them extra money, did I get a... Did I get a whole virtual pride flag?
Well, I'm not sure if it actually costs you money or not. I'm not sure about that point. But I wouldn't be surprised if it did, but just on the chance that it doesn't. But, hey, it's not like companies put, profits above, messaging or anything like that. It's not like they do this stuff just to make money, right? It's not like, like Air Qatar, for example, will change their pride, or they change their logo on the American version, but won't change it on their Muslim version. Or, or BMW is another one, right? BMW won't put like a pride flag on their American Instagram or their American Twitter page, but will leave their Qatar one as just the normal BMW logo because it's going to upset their player or their current base. That doesn't happen at all whatsoever. But anyway, jumping on. Ubisoft responds to plethora of complaints about Star Wars Outlaws after gamers roast playback. Star Wars Outlaws. Yeah, I tell you what, Ubisoft really can't seem to hit a fucking home run lately, can they? The publisher Ubisoft, responds to a plethora of complaints regarding the game after it released a gameplay trailer. Ubisoft partnered with IGN to share 10 minutes of gameplay and the game that was uploaded to the company's YouTube channel. The potential players were not impressed and make their complaints known. The video currently has over 66,000 dislikes and just 12,000 likes. Let's check it out here. So it's currently sitting at 12,000 likes and I can't see how many dislikes.
Also, can I just say that for a game that was released in 2024, it looks like it has a graphics from like 2019.
It does, yeah. A bit of it looks a little. I think like a lot of it has. Like, don't get me wrong, the environment and the world looks fine, but like
The explosions and all that, like.
when she gets thrown, this part here.
Yeah. Right there.
Yeah, it does look very cartoony, right? And look, I'm not saying I could do a better job, but I also don't have a studio with over 500 creators or devs working with me either. Yeah. Like, the environmental stuff looks good, but it's just like it's a bit of ragdolly when it comes to like the character animations, I think. But I do wonder how much of this is them using Creation Engine or whatever it may be. I presume they're still having to use that, which has always been really, really good at sort of like environmentals, but it always has the problem with the actors or the characters and stuff, with the AI. Like, for example, Starfield, right? Had great environments, but then when it came to the biggest complaint I always saw when it came to Starfield was people complaining about the actual character animations and stuff, which is exactly what we're pointing out with the explosion there. So
yeah.
So obviously when it comes to the complaints, how to Jesus Christ, how to save 80 euros in 10 minutes. Second response is IGN single-handedly saving us all money. Jesus fucking Christ. The power of one, the power of two, the power of don't pre-order. For all those who can't see dislikes, it has 62k dislikes and 12 likes. Countdown, guys. The footage is from Nintendo Cube version. Is it? I don't think. Maybe with the right. Maybe. But at the end of the day, why would they upload video from Nintendo Cube? Like, that just seems like it's an oversight on their part. Perhaps we treated Golem too harshly. Holy shit. Ubisoft's downfall needs to be studied. Like, generally, how does it get any worse, or how does it keep getting worse every time? Gotta give credit to Ubisoft. They managed to make exploring an inside of a Sarala pit boring. That thermal detonation is the worst thing I've ever seen in a modern video game. Yeah, actually true, actually. It's giving us soulless cash grab energy. Is this your modern audience in the room with us right now? So many dead things in this dead thing. Glad to see the writers are qualified as the animators. This is another AAA game, or, what are they calling it now? Is it 4A? What's 4A? Is it it's not a AAA game. It's a quad A game, maybe. This explosion effect that was the worst thing in Uncharted 2 that came out since the PS3. Amazing. Cancelled by pre-order after this footage. Thanks IGN. Babe, wake up. They made a Forspoken Star Wars. Like, the comments are pretty harsh. Is there any sort of pushback on this? I like this from IGN. We've noticed that the video isn't airing at optimal quality by default. Please make sure to adjust your video settings.
Right. It's YouTube's quality.
Hey guys, the explosion wasn't because of shit animations. It's YouTube streaming it at 320-bit. By the way, mine was at 1080, so I think they're full of shit. All right, but let's just say they're right, okay? what we're going to do is we're going to bump it up to 4K, and now it's going to be a good explosion. Ready?
Oh man, that's a huge difference.
Mate, I have seen the light. I have seen the light. 4K. I'm buying a 4K TV. It made it so much better.
That's it, folks. I'm going to pre-order another game. Again.
Wow. And like, even like this guy that said like how to save €80 in 10 minutes, right? Everybody's just like responding with like pretty much, yeah, we agree. Like, it's not like people are sitting there saying like, you know, like, hey, like, you know, we disagree with you. Like, a lot of people are just like, yeah, like, yeah, sure, okay, yeah, we agree actually. A few people are talking about like Americans' debt and all that, which is a fair point, but you know, it's not like, you know, people are sitting there saying like, you know, like, hey, you know, like, you're wrong, you know, anything like that. They're actually more talking about off-topic stuff than the game itself. What's this one here with 7 replies? Stop baying UB Games, you know. Finally, IGN did something useful, you know. So they're not disagreeing with him either, even, to be honest. All right. The power of don't pre-order. The power of don't order at launch day. The power of not even pirating it. Oh, wow, yeah. Your game is so bad, Ubisoft, people don't even want to pirate your game.
Ouch.
Anyway. Apart from that, anything else we want to cover on the Ubisoft Star Wars disaster, or?
I think calling it a disaster is being too generous.
Pretty much. Sweet Baby Inc. Developed Flintlock Season 2. They just keep beating their head into this wall. Ferrets. Like you were saying about beating your head into a wall if I locked you in a room. This is what they're currently doing at the moment.
Hey, that's my wall. You don't let anyone else near my frickin' wall, alright? That's mine.
So, the Siege of Dawn lost nearly 70% of its already anemic player base in just over a week. The Flintlock Siege of Dawn, developed by A44 Games, with the help of Sweet Baby Inc., publisher by Kappa, lost nearly 70% of its thing. So players right now is down to 101. All-time peak over the last 11 days was 648. The last 24-hour peak was 203. Like, this is pretty bad. This is really bad. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I could make a game that could do better. But also, I don't have 500 devs working with me. At the moment, my game is nothing more than an advanced menu system. But I don't have 500 devs. It's me doing it on my own. With a lot of help from the OD3E community. But still, you know, like people tell me how to do stuff. But like, that's what I'm saying is I'm not sitting here saying I would do better. I'm just simply saying that if you've had 500 devs that worked on this game and cost God knows how much to make this game. What is the... Sorry. Cost to make that. What did it cost to make? So it's using proprietary. One like Unreal Engine or Unity would have incurred costs. The asset creation, 3D modeling, programming. Mid-range estimates around 20 to 30 mil. or high-end estimates around 40 to 60 mil. So it's cost anywhere from 40 to 60 mil. And at the moment, its player base is currently 100 players. What, a week, 2 weeks after it released? It released on June 18th, so a week. I don't know. Seems like a waste of money if you ask me. But I don't know. Is this another game that's going to make your pre-order list there, Fritz?
You know what? With their reputation, they're not even getting on my list.
Yeah, it's pretty bad for Ubisoft at the moment, man. To be honest. Alright, so let's jump into the Star Citizen stuff. Alright, Star Citizen. Ferrets. Obviously, we are still waiting for 3.24 to go to Wave 1. So the comment today was that there was no build for today. They are trying to go through and fix a few of the bugs before they put out a build for tomorrow. The big interesting thing is that the way CIG is talking, and let me post it here, and if I go to my channel, so we're not looking to publish another 3.24 build today. We're working through more issues for a possible build on Tuesday. We also have a goal to run a RMQ tech preview later this week with audiences based on the current PTU wave. To me, that's interesting. Because at the end of the day, that's sort of implying that it might be at like Wave 1, Wave 2, whatever it may be. What are your thoughts?
I will be surprised if we get the Wave 1 this week.
So from what I'm hearing is it's probably going to be Wave 1.
I will be very surprised, but okay.
I'm hearing like Wednesday, Thursday, Wave 1. So apparently there are a couple of from what I'm hearing, there are a couple of major glaring issues. Which is like the hangar sort of stuff, like the hangar doors and stuff like that not opening, which is basically what I said in the last patch note videos all the time last week. I think we talked about it. But yeah, once that sort of stuff is fixed, they'll be going to Wave 1. They want to get it out because some of the team is actually working on 4.0 and they're actually sort of catching up to the 3.24 guys. We're actually looking at possibly getting 4.0 at CitizenCon or before even. But we'll talk about that in a sec. But obviously at the end of the day, the known issues, obviously things like affinity appears to decrease after a successful mission for the reputation. Not a real big thing. Pressing enter when interacting with any terminal opens global chat, causing players to lose in a game interaction, which is obviously a thing. Retrieval op mission will auto abandon shortly after completing the contract, which is a sort of a thing. Hangar instance elevators can be cancelled and arrive at the current floor, but the doors do not open. Normally you just press the button again and it opens. Personal hangars do not open while contacting ACC to take off or land. High chance. That's the thing I'm hearing has the biggest issue, is the fact that the doors aren't opening and taking off.
Boy.
Yeah. Apart from that, what are your thoughts on CitCon? Do you think that we will get 4.0 for CitizenCon or?
At this rate, no. That's a hard no. At this rate, if we're going at the rate that we're going,
it's 81 days away. Keep in mind, it's 81 days for 4.0.
CitizenCon?
Yeah. It's in October.
Right. So so with CIG's past the history with how they're handling 3.23 and now 3.24, you honestly think that they're going to have a huge patch the size of 4.0 hit the live servers in less than 3 months?
Well, hang on. No one's saying live service. It could go to PTU, right?
I mean, PTU maybe, but we
Everything
won't see it hit the live though.
everything I'm hearing says that they're on schedule for it. Just FYI. But we'll see, obviously, at the end of the day. I think they'll make it. For everything I'm hearing is saying that they will. What I'm hearing is 4.0 is actually doing really, really well. The instant stuff and the hangar doors and stuff was problematic for a whole bunch of reasons because it was sort of a major overhaul to the cargo system. So yeah, but yeah. What I'm hearing at the moment is they're pretty much on schedule for a PTU release at CitizenCon. What do you think we're going to get at CitCon? Do you think you reckon we'll get a Squadron 42 announcement or trailer, or what do you think?
What I think Squadron 42 is gonna be, it's probably going to be some more Squadron 42 teasers.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we'll get a full-on trailer for Squadron 42?
That's really hard right there. I mean, maybe, but I think we're just going to get a video type of what we had on last year.
Well, last year's was pretty much an announcement that it's going to polish phase, right? And there was gameplay action, sure, but a lot of it was them going through and sort of like talking about the development of it. I think the one that comes out at CitizenCon, I think we'll get a CitizenCon announcement, and I think it's actually just going to be a trailer. Probably Chris coming out saying, guys, Squadron 42 trailer, bump on the screen, and then at the end it'll have a date. But what else do you think we're going to get? Obviously, we'll get stuff for the next year or so for Star Citizen. Apart from that, they'll probably expand on like base building. They'll probably expand on probably a new star system, new ships, stuff like that. But
probably the Maelstrom damage model.
Yeah, I suspect we might even see a bit of that on Star Citizen Live. And normally, if it's on Star Citizen Live within about a month or 2 months or 3 months before CitCon, you generally won't hear much about it at CitCon. Because they won't talk about it on Star Citizen Live because the fact that it's just that it'll be like, this is stuff that we've already seen lately. They want to save their big announcements and stuff for CitCon. So maybe CitCon, or maybe if we see it in Star Citizen Live between now and then, I would say probably very little talking about it. I reckon we'll probably see Lesky and Delmar at Ninx, probably. Probably the systems around that. Probably some base building. Yeah. But is it 2-day event this is? Yeah, 2 days. October 19th to 20th. Yeah. Anyway, apart from that, anything else we want to talk about before we jump off for the night?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah. All right. Guys, obviously at the end of the day, like I said, last week's show obviously will be up an hour before this one. So please do go and check that out because we obviously did cover a lot of the Assassin's Creed stuff last week. As for the Star Citizen, obviously we are officially on Star Citizen Watch when it comes to the patches. When it does go to Wave 1, obviously I will be playing it. I'll probably stream it. I might even try and stream a little bit of No Man's Sky with ferrets. How much longer are you going to be on for tonight?
For tonight,
Yeah.
probably like another 2 hours, probably.
Want to jump into No Man? Oh, I have to install it, I think.
I mean, yeah, I don't mind.
No Man's Sky. Oops. Library downloads. See if I can start downloading it. Alright, I'm downloading. I don't know if it's going to be done, but it's going to be exactly 2 hours. An hour and a half. An hour and 20. It's dropping, so maybe. Alright guys, apart from that, let us know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Apart from that, Ferrets, do you want to say bye to everybody?
Goodbye, everybody.
I'm under an hour now, so it's dropping down fast. Apart from that, guys, let us know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Apart from that, everybody, have a great night. Enjoy yourself. We'll see you next week.